Hello, fiction babes and storytellers. Welcome to Habits of a Writer, podcast where we talk about the good habits that lead to a finished manuscript. I'm your host, Portia Leivette. I myself have written several novels, self-published one so far, and currently working on the second one. Let's talk about my journey as an indie author. The very first full novel I ever completed, we're talking 90,000 plus word count. It sat on my computer for years. When I say I was writing to save my sanity, that's what the book was for me. I named it Hairdos and Some Talking To. It was my introduction to can I write? I'd been telling stories for years, but could I actually sit down and write something? I surprised myself in being able to complete this. The story was about Joyner Habib. She was a salon owner, and the inspiration from it came from me just going to the salon every other week. I started noticing how it was becoming more multi-ethnical, and so that was how I wrote the book. Everybody in that rented boots in her salon, they were of different races, and so were the people that were coming in. And the book was a lot of dialogue. But like I said, it was my learning book. It was the one that I sat down and kind of figured it out. The next one that I wrote, this is the one that I actually self-published. It's called It Was That Moment When. I had 2 hangout buddies, and we were always up to some kind of shenanigans. The story came from me taking a look at the friendship between women. Growing up, I wanted to hang out with the guys. I wasn't into makeup. I wasn't into chasing boys. I wanted to play football. I wanted to learn about cars. So having women for friends was new to me this was in my late 20s. The 3 of us, we were all single mothers, and that's what I based that story on. Um, how we kinda navigated being not just moms, but being single, love lives, work, just the everyday things that you had to go through as women. Now I've completed writing my 3rd book, Go Get the Priestess. As my experience has grown, so did my ability to tell different stories. The idea for this one came from a post I saw on Instagram. The post read, "Aren't we all black sheep?" And it felt so right when I saw that. I was always the different one in my family. But as I've gotten older, I've come to realize everybody is different. We're all the little black sheeps in the family. The main character for this one, her name is Diana. She's a psychiatrist, but she's a healer. So she's in there mixing different herbs and being that type of healer, whereas her family, they all have mega churches. So she stands out like a sore thumb. With all 3 of these books, the ideas for them all just kinda came from me looking around my environment. Most of us have a notes app or a Word doc full of random story ideas. I like to joke about the muses. They are busy, and if you don't grab the idea, they'll just find somebody else to pass it off to. As writers, we all dream of being the one who creates the next great novel, but chasing perfection can paralyze us. Instead of perfection, focus on truth. Tell the story as it comes to your heart. And let me say this, it will be messy. The first draft, messy. The second draft, still messy. And that's okay. Sit with the ideas, learn where it wants to take you. For me, I use index cards to plot out my stories. Even then, I have to remind myself not to get stuck on perfection. The outline is just a map, and just like a road map, you won't discover every landmark until you're actually driving. The story unfolds as you type. Other ideas come from living life, reading, watching movies, or simply paying attention. I can't tell you how many times I've been stuck in a scene, only to overhear something at the library or a cafe that sparks an answer. Now, of course, I don't use people's words directly, but listening to the rhythm of real conversations teaches me how dialogue should flow. Watching people helps me build characters and worlds that feel alive. So, let me ask you, where are you in your story right now? Has your draft been sitting in your cloud drive for months, maybe even years? Do you find yourself starting and stopping, losing momentum, trying to make it perfect? Or maybe you're just stuck before page one, wondering how to even begin. Wherever you are, I encourage you to dust off that story. Write, not just for an audience, not for perfection, but for yourself. Remember this: inhale thoughts, exhale story. Hey, if you're new here and looking for tips on building a writing routine, encouragement to finally publish your manuscript, and real talk about all things writing, then I'm glad we found each other. I'll be here every Tuesday with a brand new episode, so make sure you hit the follow or subscribe buttons so you don't miss out. And if today's episode encouraged you, share it with another writer friend. You never know who might need it. Until then, happy writing, my friends. Again, my name is Portia Leivette, and this is Habits of a Writer.